Hi, everybody. As I was introduced, I've never written code, but I have 5 years of experience dealing with Apple and their developer console in a slightly different manner than you have. So App Store optimization, or your app secret weapon, if you use it well, is something that will help your app reach audience. This is what ASO actually means. So, in short, ASO, a way to reach your audience for your app. It will create the user's first impression, and it will affect the user's decision-making. So, I encourage you to use your iPhones and scroll through the App Store as I give you some information so you will see the hands-on experience. You've experienced it, but not while somebody is guiding you through it. So we can do it together during the presentation. So, as a developer, I consider you a creator, an artist, because you are creating something that will need to go outside of your house or outside your computer. As an artist, you would need to paint the perfect picture, and then you hate it, and then you repaint it as you rewrite code. So the process is very similar. Let's say that you have painted the picture, and this is your picture, very famous one. You all know it. So now this stays in your house. Nobody will know how brilliant you are. And you start thinking, maybe if I put it in a gallery, this will bring the audience I want. And you search, and you hear that Warhol has an exhibition. And you think, that's a good idea, it's a gallery. People that like art will go there. And you go and put your art. But somehow, it doesn't match. It's a different audience that people that like Warhol would go there, and people that would like your art. So this is the way of thinking when you put your app in the App Store that you should have. What's your target audience? Who do you want to reach? What purpose does your app have? These are all points that you will need to take into consideration before putting it in the App Store, because you've done your job. You have a great product. Now, let's find the right people to use it. So, in the App Store, this is a landing page of an app, and I have made the visibility and the conversions in two separate lines because we need to know what affects the visibility of your app in the store and what affects the conversion rate. I skipped the part previously. Here, we have two types of users in the App Store. One type are the decisive users. Users that will just see your app and download it or just scroll by it right away. And then you have the explorative users, which are a lesser percentage of users, but still people that you need to consider if you want to reach wider audience. The explorative users will open your page, will scroll through, will read. They need more time and persuasion in order to download your app. So you will need to cater your way to both decisive and explorative users. So what you need to know about that is how you can affect the visibility and how you can affect the conversions. We have the title, we have the icon, which are mandatory, we have the subtitle, the download button is right there. So these are the first things that probably just the decisive users would see. I mean, both of them will see, but they will decide based on your icon and based on your title. So, the textual elements, title, and description are mandatory, but the keywords are not. And I've seen many cases where the keywords are underused because of that, but we'll get back to them later. These three things, the textual elements, will affect the visibility in the store, the visibility of your app in the store. Then we have the video, which is not mandatory, the screenshots and the icon. These will affect the conversions more. So the decision of the user if they download your app will be based probably on the icon, screenshots, or a video first. Then we have the star rating and the reviews. You cannot really affect these, but the store takes them into consideration when deciding whether to show your app to more users or not. So this is very important to monitor for you as a developer and also go through the reviews. When a user lands on your page, if they want to know more, they will go and see the reviews, especially if you have a paid app. The star rating, the store unfortunately will not show your app to that many users if your star rating is lower than 4. Like 4 and above, these are the apps that are favored by the store, and they will show these apps to more users because the store as well wants a good user experience. And if your users like you and give you many stars, this means that more people should see your app. And the last thing, the category rank. This is something that can affect the visibility. This is why we will talk about choosing your category wisely. And the app size, this is something you can still work on and optimize, but it's not my field of expertise. I only know that when people see large apps, they will probably choose a smaller app if they have the choice to do so. So, where to start? As I said, I encourage you to use your phones because you will need to understand your user's journey in details. So your first friend is your device and the App Store. Because if you want to understand what the App Store shows to users, you will need to feel and be in the position of a user. This will help you make better decisions. So the first thing when you open the App Store, you will see the Today's tab. This is the place where the store usually features apps that they favor. Then we have, if the user knows that they want an app specifically, they will go to this tab and will scroll through apps they like. And still, in this spot, we have featured apps. Apps that are shown more to more users because the store likes them or considers them useful for the users. Then we have the Games tab, if the user wants a game. This is why it was so important which gallery you chose. If you choose to show your app in the Apps tab and you have a game, the probability that you will find your users is lower than having your app in Games tab, if it's a game. Okay. Thank you, Monica, for this great example. So we have the title and subtitle as two important species of textual elements. Why do I say this? Because the title and the subtitle are very important for your search traffic. So when people search for a certain word, for a certain app, they will type not many things. So think about it. Like if you want a game and you don't know which specific game you like, but you know you like puzzle games, you would probably type puzzle game. So this is when you have a wider range and people searching for something that they will like. But then you have something specific, like me searching for this app, and I was very happy to see that I could find it very easily typing the title of this conference, which is great. So it means it should be short, it should be clear, and it should be easily searchable. In the first landing page, the subtitle, you will see it, it's right under the title. It's not that visible, but it carries like an important information for your app. So make sure that you have words that are high in volume, which means many people search for them, but also don't just put words that people search and are not relevant to your app. So it's the best of both worlds. When I searched iOSKonf24, let me see, yes. When I searched iOSKonf24, I couldn't find this app, which was weird and made me think that maybe Monica didn't use the keyword field for this, which is a pity, because if I couldn't remember the name of the conference and I know that the location was Skopje, I would probably search iOSKonf24 or something like that. And for those users, this app wouldn't show up. So use everything that the store gives you at your disposal. This is the keyword field, and it's massively underused. Why? Because people probably don't know how to use it, or didn't even know it existed, because this is not a mandatory field in the app console. This is something that is offered to you as an option to use. And you have precious 100 characters. Now I will tell you what you can do and what you cannot do, or you shouldn't do. The don'ts. Don't repeat words. This is something that stands also for the title and the subtitle. If you repeat words, you're losing valuable space, because the store will combine the words from your title, the words from your subtitle, and from the keyword field, and will show you for all those combinations of words. So repeating words is a waste of space. Don't use irrelevant words. As I mentioned before, even though many people search for Facebook, you don't want to put Facebook if you have a puzzle game, because they will search for Facebook. You might show up, but they will just scroll you past because it's not relevant for them. They weren't looking for that. Don't use famous brands for two reasons. The one that is more important is if you get caught, you will get probably a rejection from Apple. And the other reason is if somebody is looking for a brand, they're probably looking for the brand. You showing up there won't help you people download your app. So be very wise when you're using other people's other apps brands. Don't leave spaces. So the store, the keyword field, you can separate words with commas, because if you use space, as we are used to do when we're writing, you're just wasting space. So you don't need that space in order for the store to combine your words, keywords. Now we go for the do's. Use general keywords, something that is descriptive and will get people that want your app to your app. It's very important to include it, even if you don't have it in the title or the subtitle, even if it sounded silly just to say, this app is for fitness. Like, it's something that might not be the best thing to write in your subtitle, but use app in the keywords because it will increase your searchability. Fill in the space of 100 characters as much as you can, and separate words with commas, which links us back to don't leave spaces. Okay, now we go to the store description. This is mandatory, so every app has this. But is it done right? So the explorative users are the users that will probably read it. The rest, like, we don't really care if we know what we want. We wouldn't just go through everything. But explorative users would. And they will scroll through and they will find your description if they are interested to see what more your app can offer. This is not just for games, this is for apps as well. Good practice is to use call to action. not download, but start playing, as Candy Crush has written here, is a great call to action because they will only see the first part of the description. You have 3 lines to catch their attention, and you need to use this call to action. Always triggers action. And it's a good thing to have it in mind that paid apps or games will probably be explored more because users want to know what they're buying. Even though it's cheap or expensive, they do want to know what they're buying. So with that in mind, you need to write as many features as you can, and the most exciting highlighted in your store description. Now we go to the fun part, the visuals. Okay, so this is the most important visual asset because it will be visible on all store surfaces that your app will show up. So you have to choose this right. And I've added examples of a couple of new uploads in the App Store. So these are all new. And you can only see the icons. Now I would like you to guess in which category these belong. Like there are 2 separate categories. Can you guess, just looking on the icon, if we have or where we have apps or games? Yes, right? That means that somebody did their job well. Because it's always, even after a long time, I'm always surprised that it's never mixed what we have in the apps and what we have in the games. Different colors, different details. In the apps, we have more logo-like images. And these are all, even like, they remind me of emojis. And here we have also one more thing for you. So we know that the apps are the first column and the games are the second column. Now for games, we have additional categories. Can you guess which category these games are in? Sorry? I didn't. Children's games, okay, that's one guess. Probably the kitten. Puzzles, yeah. These are all puzzles, but the kitten really took us. And I cannot still recognize what's in the 4th icon. This is something that in the games. This is something that is not a good practice. Because have in mind that the icon is really small in the device. And it has to be effective and simple and describe what the user is seeing in order to catch their attention. If it looks like this and the user is unsure, they will probably just scroll it by. Now we have the names. I think it was very easy for everybody to guess that the first app in the apps was a fitness app. But for the rest, I really wasn't sure what I'm seeing. I don't know about you. But as a user, I would have scrolled because I don't know what that is. And it doesn't catch my attention. So we got health and fitness and games in the puzzle category. Next thing you need to have in mind are the screenshots and the app preview or video. Video is not something you must have. That's why if you don't have a good video, better not have a video at all. But the screenshots really need to show your app. If they're just marketing screenshots made to look pretty, this is not something that will pass. Even the store can reject it because they want the user to know what they're up against. So I added screenshots from games because I work mainly with games and different orientations and different combinations. Have in mind that the screenshots are visible in the landing page. So if you open on the landing page and you see landscape screenshots, you will just see a portion of the first screenshot. What does this mean? Or a video if you have one. What does this mean? This means that you have to be wise with your first screenshot if you want to keep users' attention, if your screenshots are landscape. If you have portrait screenshots, you will have 2 to 3 screenshots visible in each of the positions of the screenshots whether on the landing page or in the search results. The search results are very pretty. Like when you have an app that you haven't downloaded and you search for it, it will show up with the icon, the title, and 3 screenshots if they're portrait or 1 screenshot if it's landscape. This is a very nice preview because it gives the user more information when they're searching your app. This will change if the user already has your app. When it comes to the landing page, they will see just the first 2 screenshots. So focus on what's coming first. The rest is for those that really want to know more. The orientation, as we spoke, and the hybrid store page. This is something interesting that I wanted to share with you. The last portion is a hybrid store page. What does it mean? It means you have portrait screenshots, but landscape video. If you have a landscape video with portrait screenshots, this will trigger the closer look. And closer look is a very good place for promoting your app because it will give the video for the user immediately as if they come for the second time to a wider space. So otherwise, when they land on your page, they will be separated. So they will see screenshots in one place and they will see the video in another place. And it's a good practice. Localization. Never, never, never forget to localize. And I don't mean in-game localization. What I mean is store localization. Make sure you cover all your important countries and their languages, because chances are that if you have English-only storefront, you are less eligible for getting more browse traffic. So if you have more localizations, it doesn't matter if your app is translated in-game or not. Just showing this in the storefront will give the store information that you appreciate those users as well. And it will show it to them as well. I added here some of the placements that you can get for featuring. Any featuring is amazing. So having the app of the day or game of the day is like the highlight that the App Store can give you. But they also create these selections, combinations, groups of apps or games where you can get a spotlight, and you can get that in different countries only if you add localizations. Otherwise, they won't consider you at all. Categories. Going back to the Warhol Museum and Mona Lisa being put there. So the primary category will first and foremost give the store information if you will be present in the apps or the games tab. There are some games that use the trick for adding app category and showing up in the middle of apps. Like, it makes no sense at all. And this is not a good practice. So choose your category correctly. The secondary category is optional, but use that one as well, because it has happened for me and for my games that we get a higher ranking for the subcategory than the primary category. And this is something that if you don't use this option, we'll never get. And the category rank is a thing that the store will take into consideration for showing it to more users. Now the interesting part, how to choose the right metadata. You have to get busy. For this part, like even after you've done everything with your app, you will still need to do your research. Competitors, chances are, especially in the past 4 to 5 years, everything that could be done was done, and you have competitors most probably in the store. So use this as your weapon instead of crying over it because you're not unique, and do a research on your competitors. See what they're doing, where they're showing up, and how you can get something out of their practice. It's a good thing to use App Store optimization tools. I didn't mention any here, but feel free to come up and ask me what I've used a couple, and I can give recommendations, whether you free or paid. I can give you that, but using App Store optimization tools is always helpful because it gives you a more sorted look instead of you just scrolling through the App Store. First and foremost, you are limited to your country. You cannot see what the store looks like in other countries with different languages from your own device. So this is why the App Store optimization tools come in handy. And do your own work. Browse and search in the App Store. Browsing means like just scroll through all the tabs, see what is trending now and what you can use. And one more thing, in the search tab, I'll go back for this, or maybe not, you can see it on your phone. In the search tab, under the bar, you will see popular words. Use this, like pay attention to these and see what is trending at the moment. User feedback. This is also important. There is a trick that if you get, probably you know it, that you can reset your ratings. So if you get low star reviews and you had a bug and you fixed it, the store will give you the chance to reset your rating and start over. The users' reviews, especially the feature reviews, as we spoke about, the explorative users are very important, especially in apps and especially in paid apps. And will give you also information on what they want more from your app. So users' feedback is very important. For example, this user told us that after downloading the game, he got his life together. Now they have children and a wife, and they're happy. You will get this type of feedback as well. But mostly, they will give you, they're your first point of knowing if something's wrong or something can be improved. Now, what do we do after the initial setup? Apparently, I like cats. And if you are not sure how to approach me and what your question is and just want to kick off a conversation, cats are a good way to go. So what do we do after the initial setup? The App Store Analytics, use it, abuse it, overuse it. You have every type of info you can have after you release your app there. Optimization, that's my favorite part. And also monitoring users' feedback. Okay, now let's, this is the part I like the most. And we will simulate A/B testing or product page optimization, in which you, if you know, you have it available for screenshots, videos, and icons in the App Store. So you can, you have set an initial icon or initial screenshots, but if you want to improve them, use the product page optimization. Ask your users what they like more, and the store will give you the information on what converts better. Okay, I chose one of our games. It's called Skopje, and this was the initial icon, icon A, and it's very descriptive. It shows sculpting an icon, but we felt like it can be improved. And we created 3 additional icons. What do you think? Which one won? Who votes for A? Okay, not many of you. Who votes for B? Okay, good. Who votes for C? Nice. And D? Good. But that's not all. Both showed good results, and we retested, and D turned out to be the better winner. So you were right. But we didn't stop here. We decided to test different colors, different backgrounds. This is a very good practice for you as well, to have this way of thinking. When you get a winner, don't stop there. Try variations of the winner you got and find the best one. So we have A, the previous winner, then we have B, different face, C, different background, and D, again, the same icon. So, what do you think? Which one won? Who votes for B? Okay. C? Good. And who thinks that we had D again? Probably more of you, because nobody voted. I mean, most of you kept your hands down. So yes, C, this background works good for hyper-casual games, apparently. And we've never beaten this icon again. That's it. All the rest were losers. Here's another test. This is a different approach where we have in the original icon one view, and then B, C, and D are more 3D-ish. Different concept in 3 variations. Who votes for A? Good. B? Okay. C? Nice. D? All right. So you would all stick to the pink, as I see, and you are right. Pink is also something that worked, and the original icon was the winner. And one more test with screenshots. This is a game. It's called Dig Deep. And as you can see, the screenshots are following the best practices, like we're showing the game. But what do you think? Did A win? Who thinks A won? Okay, not many people. Who thinks B won? That's what I thought. But that's not what happened. Always doubt your personal opinion. Put it in testing. Like, you can go following your guts, but your guts may lead you wrong. So the users liked the screenshots that none of you does, and neither do I. Like, this was my personal project, and I'm very frustrated it didn't work, but you always listen to the users. And other features, in-app events. I didn't want to dive deep into this because of the time frame, but if you're interested, again, we can talk. This is something that's exciting for me. I am using it a lot in my day-to-day work. And it's a very good opportunity for your app. If you add new content, if you add new features, or you just want to celebrate love on Valentine, use this space because it's something that the store appreciates and gives you another space in the store where you can get featured and browse traffic. That's all for me. Thank you.